legends play, where every swing and every cheer makes your day. The Beer League Society, we bring the hype. Crack a cold one, ignite the night. Hey! The Beer League Society podcast. Let's go! We alive! Hey!
Yes, sir. We are back. Reunited, and it feels so good.
It feels so good. I think this is the longest gap we've ever had in podcast history.
I do think that you're right. Yeah, I was thinking about that earlier today. I'm like starting to like just really crave hanging out and talking, and I realized, oh yeah, that's because this is the longest time we've gone since
Without a podcast.
Without a podcast.
And a lot's happened in the last few weeks, so we got a lot to cover. I mean, really, we didn't get a chance to do like a NBA draft or NFL draft recap. I mean,
yeah,
we're getting in the thick of it, and NHL and MLB's firing up, and
yeah, you're right.
Basketball going on. Like,
I've been watching a lot of the Chell lately. Definitely, yeah. We haven't. That's one thing we haven't even really talked about much at all.
Yeah. But long story short, before we get too far, how's the new setup? How's the new spot?
Yeah,
feeling good. Feeling moved in.
Yeah, I am moved into the Beer League Society HQ North branch, and
there we go.
This is where I will be chopping it up for the foreseeable future.
Feeling
good. I'm in the despite the fake background behind me. I'm still kind of in the dank, dark dungeon of the basement, but I like it. I'm set up. I feel like good. I got this within full range. I even got bottles of this in range. I can reach everything I need to. So, in fact, yeah, I guess we could do a little. What are we drinking?
Well, it's funny you say that because right now I'm drinking a bunch of water right now because had softball last night and
Yeah.
Had a few beers during the game. Had a few beers after the game, and then.
All right,
and
I'll have one.
And now we're rehydrating.
I'll have one, but you gotta stop me after one. Make that 1:30.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. I've just been. I think the last one too, the draft episode. The last time we chatted with all you folks was the NFL draft night. Thanks to anybody who caught that and chat along with us as we watched the draft picks come in. But that was definitely a rolling in sideways. I was in between homes in my mother-in-law's house. Like got home like 5 minutes before we were slated to hop on for the podcast. It was just like shambles, and I didn't even drink that. Right. And that I just feel like I was completely off my game. I need a good bourbon or two probably before I start actually making any sense on here. So I'm sure it was difficult for our viewers, but whatever.
We have fun. That's the good thing is and it's our podcast. We'll be whatever the hell there you go. Look at us both coming in uniform. I actually had to when I got home last night had the foresight to say, "Ooh, I'm probably going to want to wear this for the podcast tomorrow. Better wash it tonight."
Better wash it. Yeah.
So,
Thank God we don't have, smell-o-vision yet or anything like that. Otherwise, yeah, that could have been...
Yeah. That could have been rough.
Could have been rough. For you, it would have been, but not for any of us.
Yeah. Well, and anyone
we don't do this show live. We do it live, but we don't do it, in person, so...
Right.
I don't care how you smell, man.
Yet. Yeah. We do need to get a live in-person podcast, though. I think that would be cool.
I mean, just add it to the list. We had a golf tournament plan. We got a curling tournament plan. We got to get over to our bar and do a live show at our bar since they unofficially sponsor us, and yeah. Just
unofficially friend of the podcast.
Exactly, unofficially friend of the podcast. And now we're sponsoring the softball team too. So shout out for that. But
yeah, man. So I'm trying to get our there we go. I'm trying to make sure I got everything up and running, but
yeah, we're a little out of practice. Don't worry. We'll
we're getting back into the swing of things. It's been a minute. But
so how are the draft picks? What's the news in Bengals world?
Yeah. So from a homer pick perspective,
that's what this
is one of the sneaky better drafts that the Bengals have had without being like literally like the number one pick in the draft, without getting like a Jamar Chase or Joe Burrow, but like it didn't feel like every pick we took was a lottery pick. It didn't feel like we were like there was nothing that was just a complete shock, which is nice.
Yeah. Nice change of pace, huh?
A nice change of pace, and of course, you
didn't have a first round, so.
Well, right. Well, we did until a week before,
right? And
then we traded that for a position of need that would have not had anything better available at that spot.
That's what I was going to ask you. Like now,
yeah.
You started in on the whole. We had a sneaky good draft. Does that mean like you could have had a better draft if you had a first round draft pick, or do you think that was still the right move now looking back to trade away that first round draft pick?
I still think it was the right move for a few reasons. Like I said, one, I mean, it fills a massive need that was just we could not stop the run to save our lives last year in the most disgusting way. So the fact that we got someone that's proven, one, two, definitely gonna have a chip on his shoulder because of the situation that he's leaving and why.
Yeah.
So and then three, he's a character. Like he's got personality. He's not someone that's gonna be invisible. Like he's gonna bring a fun energy and excitement to the team. And we're not gonna have to wait 2-3 years for him to develop into something.
Yeah.
Because I feel like we've already burned. We're getting into Jamar Chase and Joe Burrow prime.
Yeah.
And that window does not last forever. So we don't have 2 or 3 years for some of these players to develop into what we need them to be, starter level positions, if they get there at all. So the more I thought about it, the happier I get about it, and especially seeing how the draft rounded out between really filling up our filling a lot of needs in defense. We got some center help. Got a few filler weapons in there for wide receiver. Yeah, got an edge. Yeah, so our defense is I'm really excited about our defense this year.
Yeah, so you guys
and if Shamar Stewart.
Yeah, go ahead.
And if Shamar Stewart really does take that next step forward, because he definitely looked better in the back half of last season, the last few games that he played than he did obviously at the beginning, but If he turns the corner and becomes the first round talent that we drafted for, with the upside, it could be an exciting year, and that will lend into our one of our next conversations. But based on
he's here, folks.
There he is.
There he is.
He's here.
Welcome in, buddy. What's up? Hey, all three of us.
Look at us.
Well, how
Look
can
at
I
us. Uncoordinated, but
coordinated.
all on the same page. Yeah, right.
We did not coordinate it, but we are coordinated.
There we go. I'm for it. But no, with the way the draft ended up, the trade, and just kind of how this has been one of the least tumultuous off seasons we've had in recent memory.
In a good way.
That paired with having, I think, the third easiest schedule this season. I don't know. I mean, it feels a little bit like the stars are aligning. So we'll see.
That's a little optimism there.
Wasn't there recently some hubbub, if you will, about your friend Mr. Burrow wanting out?
Not that I've heard from any.
Not anything
source.
More that I've heard. Yeah,
Didn't he make a few comments or not so
feverishly
not
Googling.
recently?
I was I've not heard anything of a credible source.
I think he did. There was some noise out there saying that Yeah, that he alluded. Well, at least people were inferring that he alluded to it.
Gotcha.
So,
expressing
wrong, but...
excitement over the team's aggressive 2026 offseason moves. Praised the Sexy Dexy signing, and yeah, I don't know. I mean, I do think that I think that there's a general like angst about him over it. I'm sure, just because he, like Cody was mentioning, like him and the offensive core guys with Chase are starting to hit their prime now, and it's like if you can't string it along, or you can't string something together, he's probably not going to want to, waste his prime years in being a Carson Palmer 2.0.
Right. Right.
So I get it, but I haven't heard anything like new, and he seems to be over his whatever personal issues he was, because whatever girl he broke up with, because now he seems to be all over with every A-list celebrity out there. So
yeah, he was at the Met Gala.
Met Gala,
like that,
yeah.
With,
Dressed like Caleb Williams too. I don't know if you noticed that. His outfit was basically looked like basically the same outfit that Caleb Williams wore on draft night. I'll have to see if I can.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Gotcha.
But, anyways, that's my take on the Bengals. How do we feel about the Bears?
Yeah, I was just before we get there, I'm just going over the way the draft board like shook out, and I'm looking. So you guys had what, 10 overall that you traded for Dexter?
For Sexy Dexy, yep.
Yeah. I mean, there's definitely some dudes out there that got drafted around that spot, and some dudes that slid.
Oh, for sure.
But
for sure,
it was an interesting draft board for sure. Kind of the way it shook out. I don't know.
Yep.
Again, I have to be the first to admit that I do not know a ton about a lot of the college prospects heading into the draft. But, from what I've heard, I can give my opinion on some of the Bears draft picks. It's very clear that the Bears were going after best available, and that caused a lot of angst, I think, amongst the fan base, because like it was typical Chicago fashion. They were like, oh yeah, best available, draft the best available. But that best available also has to be a position of need. I'm like, well, you can't have it both ways. Like, it has to be
right. That's not how that works.
Like, exactly, yeah. You either need to embrace that notion or you need to not embrace that notion. But
if you're drafting the best available at a need, you need to coordinate with all the other teams before you.
Yeah. Right. But to that end, we did draft probably one of the best available players at that 25th pick in a position of need. It just wasn't the position that everybody wanted. So we drafted...
And people didn't want safety?
Yeah, exactly. We drafted Dylan Thieneman at the safety out of Oregon, who seems like an absolute stud. I'm pretty pumped about this pick.
I have no problem with that pick.
I'm pretty pumped about that pick for sure. I think from what I've seen, he complements Kobe Bryant, the other safety that we picked up, very well. And the both of them have the ability to be moved around, strong, free, nickel, whatever you want. There's going to be just so much flexibility back in the Bears' backfield, and he's kind of like a ball hawk. And I think that's going to play well when you can scheme another player into like the free safety position or some of these other, there's just flexibility all around there, and I think so that was a good pick. I liked the center pick. I think that was kind of a head scratcher for a lot of people.
I didn't have a problem with the pick. It really sucked that we had to take a center that high, and that probably says more about the center that they picked up from the Bills than it does Bradbury than it does actually Logan. So
yeah. I mean,
if he's not starting by the end of the year, then I don't think it was probably a great pick.
We'll see. I think the Bills center that we signed was kind of like oh shit, we need something. We can't regress here. And so I think we we plugged we stopped the bleeding by signing him, and then we went out and drafted somebody who now doesn't have to start day one, but is the more long-term goal
solution.
Yeah, at center in case Bradbury walks or because I think he's only got like 1 year or 1 or 2 years.
1 year left on his deal, I believe.
Yeah, so he was kind of a rental, I think. But yeah, so ultimately, and the comps for Logan Jones were basically Tooney. So like.
Yeah, Tooney and what's his face? The guy that just got big money.
Yeah, from the on the Ravens. Yeah,
on the Ravens. Yeah.
Yeah, I can't think of his name, but yeah,
no,
the top. He was like the top free agent center, and he got like a boatload of money. So then we went round 3. This was the one that kind of started to really, like show that we're going best available, like player. All odds be damned, when we drafted Sam Roush, another tight end out of Stanford. That one was kind of interesting to me. I like 13 personnel. I don't have a problem with 13 personnel, and we knew I think our third tight end was going to walk. Who was that last year? I can't think of the guy's name now. Starts with an S. Terrible at this stuff, but we knew he was going to walk, and obviously Ben loves 12 personnel. Ben loves 13 personnel. I do think this guy's athletic enough. He's a little bit more of a blocking, I think, tight end, if I'm not mistaken. I just hope Durham Smythe, yeah. I hope that it does not spell the end for Cole Kmet. That
was going to be my question. How much longer do you have on Cole Kmet's deal?
Yeah, I don't know.
He just got a new deal last year.
He did get a new deal last year.
Well, it was a big deal too. It was like a 4 or 5 year deal, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh.
Yeah. But he's already he's already talking like he knows that he could potentially be trade fodder in later on down the road.
Which is just garbage. I don't understand. Cole has done nothing to become trade fodder. He's a hometown hero. Like, everybody loves the kid. Mm-hmm. Besides the fact that he looks like Ashton Kutcher, but
he sure does.
He's just a great player all around. He's done nothing to jeopardize his job, and I don't understand why we keep bringing in people.
Yeah.
So bringing in tight ends to replace him, I feel like. Loveland, get it. Kmet, phenomenal pair.
Love that pair.
I just
hope they stick
don't
around.
understand why we couldn't just. I don't know what Smythe was asking for, but I can't imagine that it's anything more than what they're going to give Roush.
True.
He was a third rotation tight end. You're playing 13 personnel. One of those guys is just a blocking tight end. Durham Smythe did that just fine last year. I just don't understand the move. That is a lot of capital to give up for a rotational player at best.
Yeah. No, I definitely agree. That was the one that I probably took the most issue with. After that, we got another third round wide receiver. A lot of people were like, "Oh, what do we need wide receivers for?" I'm okay with that. We lost DJ Moore. You have to replace him in some way, shape, or form.
I mean, that I have no problem with that.
That had what's his face written all over it.
Yeah, he loves him.
No.
Ben Johnson.
I'm not talking about. No. I'm talking about the other player that we took. That was a pace move. That went to the Seahawks and got a ring. What's his face? Terrible. Man, this is really bad today.
Yeah, we are.
We're coming off of the bye weeks.
Break, yeah.
And
we clearly did
real problems.
Yeah, we clearly did not prep well from the bye week. But no, yeah, I from what I heard.
You're not talking about Allen, are you?
No, I'm talking about. He's terrible. He had fumbleitis.
Mooney?
No, Mooney's with Atlanta. No,
Mooney was awesome. And he's with
Atlanta.
No, he's with the Seahawks.
Now he's with the Seahawks still?
Yeah. He's with the Seahawks.
Velus Jones?
Velus Jones.
Oh, Velus.
Just freaking terrible.
He was,
just
I think.
Terrible.
Yeah. Yeah,
I mean, this is you're swinging on this guy. I just don't.
Ben loves
him. Man, I know Ben loves him, but Velus Jones was a speedster too and had like a 4.28 40 and just couldn't hold the ball longer than 2 seconds without dropping.
Was he the one that was getting his doctorate or something? Is that somebody else? I can't remember who that was.
That was a guy on
the other
Hard
guy
Knocks that ended up not making the team.
Got you.
Running back.
Great, running back, character player, good dude. But yeah, I think.
But now we got Kyle Monungai, and all everything's forgiven because he's basically the same kind of guy. But no, they tried to make Velus a running back. That's probably why you maybe. Yeah, Ian Wheeler was the other guy.
Ian Wheeler. Oh, yeah, that's right.
But yeah, they tried to make him a running back. I
didn't have a problem with making him a running back. I had a problem with him ever receiving the ball.
Well, yeah, I mean,
ever.
I hope this guy doesn't have fumbleitis either. But like, you need some return guys, and this guy, and we lost a massive gadget wide receiver. And so now we're replacing him with another guy who, if he's a returner, he's probably going to be a gadget wide receiver that Ben can use in a similar way to cover some of the stuff.
He doesn't have.
He's not going to be DJ Moore.
DJ size.
No.
Yeah, he doesn't have DJ size.
No, he's not. But I think we have plenty of other big wide receivers that can do that part of what we lost with DJ. I just think we need a kind of a weapon and a downfield threat. And I think this guy could be that way. I bet he doesn't.
Linderbaum, by the way, was the center that got the
Linderbaum.
Yeah. With
But
the Raiders.
The one I think one of the ones that I'm super intrigued by is their last pick, the 6th rounder Jordan Vanderberg, the defensive tackle from Georgia Tech. That guy intrigues the hell out of me. He's a total project, and he's another thing that people in Chicago love to hate on pulls for is he's a RAS guy, the relative athletic score. This dude scored like a perfect 10 on the relative athletic score. He's got like everything possible you could want. Speed, agility, vertical, like strength. He's just an absolute freak of an athlete, and we got him in the 6th round. He's from South Africa and hasn't really played a ton of ball out, like in the United States. So I'm super interested to see what this guy becomes, because if you like freak athletes and you can figure out how to turn him into something, I mean, this guy's got more tools than anybody I've ever seen.
Tim the Toolman Taylor.
Yeah, exactly.
The positive is that that Pace has historically done much better in later rounds than he has in the 3rd,
polls,
and the 4th. So, I keep saying Pace.
That's
polls. Right. So we'll see.
Real quick,
how that shakes out.
We need to blow some kisses.
Oh, did they ask for the kiss? I didn't see that. I know it's SO, but wow, good to see you, boys. Yeah, it's John and Matt play games. They've started their own Twitch channel, so after the podcast, go give them a follow. Check them out. Yeah,
absolutely.
Nice.
So
I love the originality of the title. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, I love it.
Hey, sometimes keep it simple, stupid.
Right.
I mean, right. There's no question of who's doing it and what they're doing.
Right. Exactly.
Love it.
Exactly.
So, any other surprises outside as we did our Homer takes? What other surprises from the draft? Anything?
I still think one of the biggest question marks is the Rams. Like,
what the fuck was going on there?
For well,
I mean, not just the. Go ahead.
No, I was like, they obviously still have a few more, like at least a year or two more of Stafford. 1, 2. Next year's QB class is significantly better than this one. And 3, they got him like at minimum a full round too early.
Yeah.
Like I genuinely think they could have gotten him with their 2nd round pick. So
you're not.
It was
absolutely could have.
Not wrong.
Yeah,
that.
Like I don't.
Everybody
all of
knew
that
that
was
this
confusing.
This was not a quarterback's draft, and nobody was. And really, if you think about it, there wasn't outside of Mendoza, there wasn't a ton of teams that were in a need position where there wasn't a desperate need position.
It was the right. It was the right combination of
for QBs.
Yeah, it was the combination of not a lot of people that needed it, and then not a lot of people that were available.
Right?
Yeah.
Right.
So yeah,
I agree. He was a full round too early. Jeremiah Love was one that I think really kind of scratched my head. You're going to go your third pick. I mean, top 5. That just seems really, really high for him. Mm-hmm. I think he was looking to be somewhere around 10 to 15, if I'm not mistaken.
Mm-hmm. Arizona had to
so
really
for
love
him. Yeah,
and I just don't understand that too, because they just sign Algier.
Yeah,
correct.
That's the hard part, is that wide receiver room is really, because they drafted Benson, was it last year or the year before? So that wide receiver or that running back room is now Love, Algier, Benson, and they still have Connors.
Jesus, right. You're right. Yeah, holy shit.
So like that I honestly didn't have an issue with Love going in the top 5 as much as I had an issue of like, that wasn't your biggest need at all. Yeah. And there were better players for your needs than him. Like,
I don't even think you can argue that was best player available at
no,
at that spot either. So
that's what I'm saying. Like there were better players available at positions they needed, and instead they went with the sexy pick.
Yeah.
So
right.
I mean, yeah. So to circle back to the Ty Simpson one, I think the pick was the pick, and we can you can debate all the stuff we debated, but what really got me was the whole like circus that kind of ensued thereafter, with the whole I
met with him weeks before the draft, and they were keeping it secret.
Meet with him. And it was then you got the picture of McVay sitting next to the GM, like looking at him like, what the fuck did you just
furious.
Do? Yeah, just furious.
Right.
It just was not a good look all around for the Rams. They did not coordinate that well if it was planned, which only just further lends credence to the fact that their GM just went rogue. And
they're playing cleanup.
Yeah, exactly. Trying to figure out how to PR the shit out of this thing after he just did something out of pocket, but. Yeah. I don't know. It could be that way. I
genuinely expected them to go Arvell Reese there.
Arvell Reese.
Like I genuinely expected them to go defense.
I'm fascinated to like if you can only be a fly on the wall and see that board, because you're right. Like McVay's response it looks like it took him totally by surprise.
Yeah. He certainly didn't do them any favors to make it seem like this was the plan, Right. And then like I feel like when you
makes it sound like it wasn't even in the zip code on the board,
right? And that's like I think that's what the speculation was, that this was completely out of pocket, and the GM just going rogue. And like when you do something like if your team is in alignment on that whole thing, I feel like you need to show that more, because like if you're gonna get scrutinized for making a pick, you need to have a unified front that goes up there and says, this is our guy. We wanted this guy. Like for all the Bears' faults with when they drafted Trubisky, they at least came up there as a unified front and said, this was the guy we wanted to go after. It was a dumb idea, but they were like, this is the guy we wanted. We needed to move all assets in order to make it happen. Didn't need to, but at least they had a unified front, whereas you make a head-scratching pick like this, and then the first presser you don't do anything as a head coach front office unit to try to dispel that, and then it just gets worse from there. Like you're just making it like a non-zero chance, to use our favorite term, that this actually was just a rogue pick, and not a good look as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, well, can you imagine how awkward it is for Simpson too? I mean,
because then
OTAs have got to be weird.
Yeah, and then they made him say that he hadn't met with them, And then they walked that back and said, well, no, he was playing the script. That was the script we gave him to not say that he met with us because we were trying to throw other teams off the scent.
Right.
And that now that the pick's in, that they're like, oh, he was just doing the script that we gave him. We forgot to tell him afterwards that once you've picked, now you can talk about it. But like,
so you
I don't
throw him under the bus.
Yeah, exactly. I don't buy that
right.
shit for a fucking second.
Yeah.
You know, it was an interesting slide that I was hoping that would land to the Bears was Reuben Bain to the Bucks.
Yeah.
The
Bucks had a great pick. Yeah, it had a great draft too. But
they really did. That dude, that kid's a stud, and I love his last name. I mean, just all around badass.
Oh yeah, I mean you can see the jokes now, like.
And I thought that it was a the stretch of who did the Vikings take? That was a bit of a he was the dude is going to be a game wrecker, or he's just going to be an absolute bust.
Banks?
What was his name? Banks. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Banks. That was an interesting one too. I wouldn't have been upset if the Bears would have taken a swing at Banks. But I mean, his injury history is definitely concerning. But I thought that he had enough upside that I think it would have been worth the pick. So, I mean, that could put the Vikes could be a terror if he pans out.
I mean, the whole edge thing. So like that was the most positional need for us was edge in a draft that was somewhat regarded as edge heavy. I really just think
it was. You guys played too well.
Right.
And all the elite edges were gone by the time we got to you.
Yeah, exactly.
We just played too conservative. We weren't hungry enough to go up and get one.
And get one of you guys, yeah.
Yeah, like when it was happening live, we were talking about it, and I'm like, okay, well, if your dude isn't there, like at the 25th pick, and it takes two to tango too. Like a lot of people, I feel like make these trades in their mind, and just with the assumption that every team's willing to play ball at any point. You just need to tell them the right numbers to make it work. I don't know that a lot of teams were, to be the fly on the wall to figure out how those calls go, really would be telling. Otherwise, we're armchairing this whole thing and we have no idea what. But like when it happened live, I thought, why waste your pick at 25 on the bottom of the first round when you could get something of best player available, like a Dylan Thieneman, and then come back around in the second round and try to get anybody that may have fallen out of the first round or top end second round edges. And then when we did do that was a little bit weird.
Right. They just chose to prioritize center.
Right.
And I think again, that's just the way the board fell. I think that they probably didn't have the intention of going center, but after Logan fell as far as he did, I think they probably were like, well, he's best available, and we've got this list of edge rushers that we want to pull, but we're going to go center because there's a need.
And a lot of
Thuney just completely screwed up our entire draft board.
He did, but at the same time, I do think we need, like, I think Ben said it, and I think Ryan Pohl said it a little bit as well too. Is don't sleep on the fact that we have roster players that need to take a step forward in order to as a way to fill that need. Like everybody thinks you need like that everybody stays the same year to year, and that you have a known quantity.
I know. I hate that response though.
No, why?
Because that's what bad teams say when they have bad drafts. We just need everybody to step up. Like
yeah, but that does like they both can be true.
But that goes without saying. Of course they do.
Both can be true. Like
I mean, they absolutely can be true. I'm not saying it's, but that statement is always true. It's always true. And so what they're saying is that they're going to coach them up better. And that they have a better coaching staff last year or this year than they do last year? No, they don't.
When you take
don't.
No, but when you take guys in late rounds in the draft, you don't expect them to become starters until 2-3 years in, right? There's a progression. Sure. There's a progression to their skill set that needs to, and so you like basically I'm looking straight. I'm gonna blow right past a motivated Deo Adangbo because I don't give a shit about him, but I'm looking at Austin Booker square in the face and saying.
Sure.
You know,
Booker. It's put up or shut up here.
Exactly. And I think that, you know, like, I think he didn't do anything last year to make me feel like he isn't capable of that. He just got injured.
Right.
You know?
Cody's so bored right now.
So let me ask this. If you guys had to pick, and this is not, we didn't plan any of this, but like, outside of your team, who do you think were the winners of the draft, and then we'll do losers. But like, who would you say is like a big winner in your eyes?
I think the Bucks had a good draft.
I think I was going to say
agree.
Bucks too,
because the draft.
Everybody claims that Vegas had the best, like pretty much the best off season, but had a really strong draft too, and that simply because they didn't Raiders themselves out of picking Mendoza, but I still just do not. I'm not high on Mendoza yet. I really am not. This could be something for me to eat my words, but I feel like there's some smoke to it considering
video of him throwing the perfect ball.
I know. Yeah, it was like okay.
Now do it under duress.
Exactly. Every top prospect can do a sizzle reel of him throwing a perfect spiral. Right. Every one of them could. Fucking 9 can do it if they wanted him to. Like
I can do it.
Yeah, shit, probably. If you give me 100 takes and ESPN camera crew behind me, I could probably get
in 10 yards,
rip one off. Yeah, but like, I'm not like. I think that the fact that Brady and the Brain Trust we're already saying that they're not going to start him on year one. I think that's telling.
Yeah,
they bring in Cousins to cover for him. That's got to be telling. Like. Either they're truly just trying to get back to the era where you let QBs develop, let them bake for a year before they come in, or there's some concern that he might not be as good as everybody thinks he is. But I do give them credit for sticking with the program and drafting him. I wouldn't have been mad if they tried to trade out of that spot with him, but I think the Raiders fan base would have ate their fucking lunch.
They
didn't
had to
draft
make the
him.
move, and I do think that bringing in Cousins is a brilliant move. You can't get a better comp than Cousins, at least on a character level.
Personality too, like they're both like kind of
like character level, like in being a phenomenal teacher, let's be honest. Like he's done it all at this point in his career. He's patient. He'd be a great teacher for Mendoza, and I think he'll really respond to him. So I think that was a brilliant move. Atlanta wasn't going to keep him, so
but he's expensive though.
He was expensive, but I think. Well, yeah, I still think it was a good move. I think it gave you a lot of insurance.
Yeah. Who do you got, Andy?
For what? For which one?
For like the winner.
Best? The winner?
Yeah.
I think
it just doesn't have to be the best, but like a team that you think just did, draft.
No,
really
I
well.
know. I'm sorry to just piggyback and move on, but yeah, I agree with the Bucks.
Got you. I'll go ahead.
The Browns. I was thinking this too. Like the Browns, they didn't Brown.
Yeah.
So
I would say
okay.
I would say that was the biggest shocking theme of the draft is that the teams that you expect just by historic statistics and whatever, like I think the Jets had a fantastic draft. I think the Giants had an incredible draft. I think both of those teams had
multiple needs and they met them.
And they crush it. They got great players. I mean, I would say the Jets started off with the most dominant edge rusher that a lot of people would say in Bailey, and then they just pounded their offense. So they got Omar. They got good wide receiver help from Omar Cooper. They got Kenyon Sadiq at tight end, who's a freak athlete. Like, that guy's a nut. Like, he broke like the combine record for like 2 events at the tight end position. One of them being the 40 or something like that. Like, he's a freak. And then they got cornerback help. Like, it felt like they got ballers in their first like 5 picks. Like, they were like big name, big impact guys. So, and they just signed Breece Hall to which was a big question mark. So they shored up their run game for the next, it was like 3 or 4 years or something like that. So I think they had an incredible draft, and I think the Giants did too. I mean, the Giants went really heavy on defense and got some. I mean, they got Orville Reese, and they shored up the trenches on their offensive line, and I think both of those teams. It's good. If you lived in New York, you had a great draft.
Yeah.
But what would you say? Who would you say your losers are? We've already said the Rams, so you got to pick somebody else.
I know, yeah, that sucks because that was going to be my.
All right, I'll broaden the question then. It doesn't have to be a team. Who's a player or coach or somebody that just screwed the pooch in the draft?
I'm feverishly looking at the list of draft picks now and trying to see.
Yeah. Well, I'll say this, for a defensive-minded coach, I was surprised to see the Titans go Cardinal Tate at number 4 overall at wide receiver, considering a defensive-minded coach with a lot of really big names on the board there, like some game wreckers on defense. Mind you, I know they just went Cam Ward last year, and he doesn't have an alpha wide receiver that's not past their prime, like Ridley. Like, obviously a dog 4 or 5 years ago, but he's an old man now. So they definitely got like a great wide receiver. It just seemed like it was the Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase meme all over again. Like, they're never gonna get him the ball because he's gonna be on his ass the whole game. Like, so, I thought that was a surprising pick from that coach at that position, considering there were still some really big names on the board.
Yeah,
like Reese and Styles and all those. So Robert Saleh's debut is in Tennessee was not what I expected. So we'll see how it shakes out.
I think I'm gonna go Pittsburgh with the Drew Allar pick. I mean, I know he didn't go to like the 3rd round, but like just out of the gate, just like they still don't know what the fuck's what's going on with Aaron goddamn Rodgers.
Seriously.
I mean, they're gonna be out of a fucking quarterback spot, and if they're gonna hitch their wagons to Drew Allar for a starting QB, like I just like if I think they needed a little bit more urgency at the quarterback position, either in the offseason or the draft, to wait for like the 3rd round to get a QB. Even though QB was lean, I still think where I don't know, where was their 2nd round pick? I mean, their 1st round pick was probably not in the range where you go, they went after Ty. Maybe they were thinking that Ty Simpson would fall to them. That could have been a play, I think. Like, I know we talked about the Rams picking him at 13, a whole round early. I don't think I would have been mad at the Steelers drafting Ty Simpson, a few picks later at 21, just because like, to me, I feel like that their need was very clearly there, and you might want to take a stretch on the 2nd best QB, in the draft.
But I think if they had a different quarterback than Rodgers, I could have seen them doing that. But everyone knows Rodgers is not going to help that guy. He's not going to coach him up. He's not going to mentor him.
But they also don't even have Rodgers yet, though. That's the thing. He's not. I mean,
they must assume that they're getting him. That's the only thing I can think of.
Unless he's playing fucking games right now because he's Aaron Rodgers and he's a dumbass. Like, he hasn't signed yet, and it's like I don't know what they did, who they shot their shot with in the free agency, but I have to imagine that there's got to be some airspace between missing out, like not signing Aaron Rodgers and drafting Alar in the 3rd round and doing nothing in free agency as your QB solution. So that's Pittsburgh for me.
Fair enough. What are your thoughts, Jason? You're muted or something. Yeah, you're muted. Something happened. His mic went out.
Yeah.
There he goes.
Yep,
there he goes.
I moved it and pressed the button.
Gotcha. It's you were about a half a second away from me.
Jason,
you're
muted.
For me going, I'll take him here. I think the Bears really screwed this one up.
That's still within the realm. Off. Yeah, I was about to say.
So, I thought Miami. No, I don't want to. No, I said before when you were saying, hey, can you guys hear me?
Yep.
Yeah, we can hear it. He's
hello. No, I thought Miami's draft was fine. I think I'm probably more reacting to a lot of the trades that they did right before the draft, and then they go.
Yeah, they didn't go
replace. Huh?
They didn't get a wide receiver.
Which is crazy because they lost Waddle and Tyreek.
Right. That was my. Well,
that's what they didn't do.
They got Caleb Douglas from Texas Tech, but like.
But they swapped with Dallas, right? That was like the weird.
Right. And I thought some of their trade moves were really kind of strange. It didn't seem to have a whole lot of strategy to it. The dumping of some of your cornerstone players before the draft, I thought was really odd. And then they made some head scratching moves during the draft. I mean, I'm looking at ESPN. And it looks like they graded out as a B, but I don't know if I would grade them that high. For what they.
I mean, they could have had Mekhi Lemon. I know that he's got his
right.
His question marks, but.
Right. After Tyreek Hill, they're probably like, "Can we just get somebody that's not like that, like crazy?"
If you can deal with Tyreek Hill, I don't understand why you like Lemon probably looks like a walk in the fucking park. Compared to him.
I've never seen someone's draft stock drop outside of probably Sanders last year, just off of being so weird in their
it was a
what was that
interview or like media day or whatever
the media day at the combine what a weirdo.
A little weird.
But, we'll see but I hadn't really heard anything from a character perspective prior to that.
No.
And then it was just like, no, he just gave everybody the heebie-jeebies at the combine. Like, this guy really seems unsettled. Yeah. But I would agree. No, I would agree. I was considering all the offensive weapons that they lost to Waddle, Tyreek, and then they didn't really do anything to replace them with anybody exciting. I mean, they got Willis, but still, I was surprised.
They got a good lineman, but it's just I don't know. I feel like you could have done so much more with that pick.
Right. But I'll say this: they're not giving Willis much to work with, so they're not setting him up for success.
Nothing. Yeah.
At least they signed Achane to a huge deal yesterday or whatever it was. But like, thank God, who else are they gonna like? Who else is gonna be? It's, that's gonna be an insane running game.
And then they had, and then part, this is part of on our list. But then they had a running back that they brought in free agency just walk right out the door.
Oh yeah,
it was 2 days ago.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, just retired, just straight up, just retired.
Oh, I did hear about that.
Yeah. Squirrel White did that too, to us too.
Yeah.
Did you? Yeah. I don't know if you saw that, but yeah, basically the story goes that the guy, he signs a contract. Now, if you read the headlines, they say it's $1 million contract, and then he retires. He's not going to get the $1 million. He's going to get, like, I think $250,000 was guaranteed money, which is still not nothing.
They're still going to go after.
You think they will?
Yeah.
I hope they do. Because unless there's some explanation for it, which I'll give him the chance to come out and give the explanation for it. Like, both of them, him and Squirrel White, you got some splaining to do here before you can just walk away.
I didn't understand the Squirrel White thing at all. Like, at least, I actually, until you just said that, I didn't know that he jumped. That sucks because I just wanted to say his name all throughout the season. So, but
I just wanted him to end up being better than the other White that we drafted.
Right.
Like,
right. Kevin,
way back.
Would know that would be Kevin White.
Yeah.
So,
people were excited about him too. Hell, I was.
He was going to be a star.
He was supposed to be.
Injury catastrophe.
He's just not good.
And just not good.
I mean, not as good as he needed to be for the draft pick, but.
Yeah. But in a bit of a transition here, this brings up an interesting discussion about these early retirements because really it speaks to the impact of NIL.
Sure.
Like there was the incentive to play at the professional level was there was nothing else. Like you had to do it.